Hey guys, come on downstairs. We are starting another year of our Southern Utah Thunderbirds Dynasty, and this is the official season opening episode of year number 4, as we have Will Still's preseason rankings and season preview coming up. All of the previous episodes that I've released in this season were just off-season commit profiles, just to tide us over until season number 4 starts, which is this episode today. This is the start. Quick look at our schedule. We've got UMass, Southern Methodist, and UNLV in our non-conference. We have Marshall and Florida International from the other side of Conference USA before all of our division teams. All right, let's look at Will Still's preseason top 126. The blue marker is a Southern Utah opponent. The red one is a team that's predicted to be relegated, and a yellow one is a team that's predicted to be promoted. And we see Southern Utah comes in at number 123 on Will Still's countdown of the top 126. So we have a lot to prove here in year number 4. We play Weber State, who's at 126, and UNLV, who's at 125 on the season. UTEP comes in at number 117. We also have them on our schedule. Southern Miss at 116. We do not play them. They are a Conference USA team, though. Troy, Boise State at 114. That's an interesting one. San Jose State at 111. Nevada at 110. Tulsa, another Conference USA team from our side of the division, comes in at 109. The Akron Zips, the Western Michigan Broncos, the Hawaii Warriors at 106. Arkansas State, South Alabama. Texas Tech is your first team predicted to be relegated, and they are predicted to be relegated into Conference USA from the Big 12. Tulane, Colorado State, Louisiana Tech, SMU is number 99. They're on our schedule. Utah State is number 98. UMass number 97. That's who we open up with, and we have our second Power 5 relegation prediction and our third right there. Utah from the Pac-12, Rutgers from the Big 10, both predicted to be last place in their conferences by Will Still in his preseason top 126. So Texas State at number 91. We've played them a few times so far. Virginia is the next Power 5 team predicted to be relegated out of the ACC. North Texas at number 87. They're on our schedule. Wake Forest, Temple, Western Kentucky predicted to be promoted. That's our first promotion out of the Sun Belt, so we are done seeing Sun Belt teams. Florida International and Marshall are both on our schedule at 83 and 82. So let's look at this 126 through 82. Biggest surprise for me is Boise State at 114. That seems way low for the Boise State Broncos. The teams that are predicted to be relegated, we have 4 of them here. Texas Tech, Utah, Rutgers, and Virginia. It'll be interesting to see how they pan out this season and see if they do in fact be relegated into lower conferences. Western Kentucky, the prediction to win the Sun Belt Conference is at 84, and that is the team that would be promoted into the SEC out of the Sun Belt. So those are some of the more interesting teams here as we move on to number 81 through 37. So coming in on Will Still's number 81, the UTSA Roadrunners, who are on our schedule. The Old Dominion Monarchs, the Indiana Hoosiers, Syracuse at 78, Boston College at 77, the Duke Blue Devils. So we got a few ACC teams there. Connecticut at 75, New Mexico State at 74. They're on our schedule and in our division. The Navy Midshipmen at 73, East Carolina at 72, Purdue 71, LSU at 70, and they are predicted to be relegated from the SEC. That would be interesting. LSU in the Sun Belt. Rice at number 68, they're on our schedule. North Carolina State at 67. Now we head into the top 65. Northwestern, Central Florida, and we got Florida Atlantic. They are in the other side of the conference, but not on our schedule. Air Force at 62, Stanford at 61. Coming in at 60, we have the Iowa Hawkeyes, Washington State at 59. So we still haven't seen any other teams that have been predicted to be promoted to the power conferences from the smaller conferences. New Mexico at 56. Kansas State at 55. Fresno State at 54. So we have so far only seen the top prediction in the Sun Belt Conference. All the other group of 5 conferences are still out there. Iowa State at 51. Wyoming at 50. That's the second one. The team predicted to be promoted to the Pac-12 out of the Mountain West would be Wyoming. So we'll see if they can win the Mountain West Championship. Kansas, Kentucky, Miami. Number 46, South Carolina. The Toledo Rockets are predicted to win the MAC, and that would put them in the Big Ten. California, Minnesota. Number 42 is Vanderbilt. We still haven't seen the team predicted to come out of Conference USA yet. Arizona State, Baylor. And we are in the top 40 now. TCU at 39, Michigan State at 38, and Army at 37. So, some of the interesting notes in this group of teams. LSU predicted to be relegated from the SEC. Personally, I don't see that happening. I believe somebody else will probably be relegated. Vanderbilt, Kentucky, something like that. Wyoming's predicted to win the Mountain West. I think that one's also a question mark because you've got San Diego State and Boise State and Fresno who should have something to say about that. And now let's get into the top 36 of Will Still's preseason top 126. And here at 36 we have the predicted Conference USA winner, the Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders. Number 35, Arizona. Number 34 is BYU. Number 33, North Carolina. Number 32, Pittsburgh. So Middle Tennessee predicted to win our conference and get the promotion into the Big 12. Houston comes in at number 30, and they are predicted to win the American, which would put them in the ACC for next season. As we head towards the preseason top 25, Oregon is at 26, and now we've got the top 25. Number 25, the Texas A&M Aggies. Number 24, the Virginia Tech Hokies. The Colorado Buffaloes at 23. Number 22, on Wisconsin. Number 21, Louisville. The top 20 now of Will Still's preseason top 126. Georgia at number 20. West Virginia at number 19. Michigan at number 18. 17th is the Washington Huskies. 16th, Nebraska. 15th, Missouri. Oklahoma at 14. Florida at 13. So have you guys seen your favorite team yet, or are they going to be in the top 10? Alabama at number 11. All right, we are at the top 10 now. Number 10, Arkansas. Number 9 coming into the season, the Texas Longhorns. Number 8, the USC Trojans. Number 7 is Clemson. And number 6, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. All right, we got the top 5 now. Will Still's top 5. Number 5, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Coming in at number 4, the UCLA Bruins, the defending national champions. And number 3, the Florida State Seminoles. We're down to the top 2. And number 2 out of the Big Ten, Penn State. And number 1, do you guys know who this is? It is the Auburn Tigers. So Auburn is Will Still's preseason number 1 team in all of college football. Middle Tennessee out of Conference USA is in this first page at number 36. So they are predicted here to be the second best group of 5 team behind Houston, who comes in at number 30. All right, let's take a look at the Conference USA preseason polls. In the West Division, the Rice Owls predicted to be number 1. The New Mexico State Aggies at number 2. UTSA, North Texas at number 4. Tulsa number 5. UTEP number 6. We are predicted to be number 7 in the West Division, ahead of only in-state rival Weber State. So we have a lot to prove on our Southern Utah Thunderbirds year 4 here in our first year in Conference USA. Over in the East Division, Middle Tennessee picked to be the number 1 team. Florida Atlantic at number 2, Old Dominion at number 3, Marshall at number 4, Florida International at number 5, Louisiana Tech, Tulane at 7, and Southern Miss at number 8. I think Florida International and Florida Atlantic will both challenge Middle Tennessee for that top spot. Let's look at the Heisman watch here in the preseason. Kelly Bryant, the senior quarterback from the Clemson Tigers. Brandon Wimbush, he was last year's Heisman Trophy winner. Dominic Davis from USC. And Bradrick Shaw from Wisconsin, along with Evans, a running back for the Michigan Wolverines. Preseason All-Americans, Kelly Bryant from Clemson. Got Michigan, Wisconsin, Auburn, and Bowling Green receiver. And we're just basically kind of looking through for any conference players. And here is one, Kedron Wadley, a cornerback from Tulsa, is on the first team All-American defense. Let's take a look at the second team. Brandon Wimbush, the defending Heisman Trophy winner. Tavares Harrison, a receiver from Florida Atlantic in Conference USA, is a preseason second-team wide receiver. Got some Alabama guys, some Oklahoma guys, Kent State, Western Michigan, and strong safety Taylor Robinson from North Texas. And they are in our division. We will see Robinson this season. Let's look at his career. Has 33 tackles, 62 assisted tackles, 2.5 sacks, 15 pass breakups, and 4 interceptions. Last season he had 4 picks and 14 pass breakups to go along with his 1.5 sacks. So Taylor Robinson, second team All-American on the defensive side from North Texas. And let's look at Tavares Harrison again. He is the wide receiver from Florida Atlantic. Last season, 863 yards, 12 touchdowns, 61.6 yards per game, so they're expecting him to have a breakout season for Florida Atlantic. So now let's take a look at the Conference USA preseason first team. We have Marquez Trigg, first team running back on our squad. John Randall Belton, the quarterback from Louisiana Tech. So it's good to see Marquez Trigg get some preseason recognition. See if there's anybody else from our team here. Andrew Eide at defensive tackle, as well as Martavius Redmond at corner, are on the first team All-Conference USA defense. Andrew Eide, defensive tackle. Martavius Redmond, he is a senior. He has been a name that we've heard throughout this Southern Utah Dynasty. From year one, he came up with a huge interception in our first ever Southern Utah FBS win over Old Dominion. So let's look at the second team All-Conference now. We don't have anybody on the offensive side of the football. And we have middle linebacker Tony Terrell. And Tony Terrell is a junior from South Jordan, Utah. We recruited him. He was in our first recruiting class. And he is a second-team middle linebacker. And Paul Phillips, the kicker, is the second-team Conference USA kicker. I think he has a pretty good chance of being the first-team All-Conference USA kicker by the time the season's over. All right, coming into the season, we are 124th in toughest places to play at Eccles Coliseum. And we have lost a couple games in a row at home. So this is the way the postseason will work. Each of the Power 5 conferences will get an automatic bid to a BCS bowl game, and the other 3 bids will be at large. So Pac-12 in the Rose Bowl, SEC Sugar Bowl, Big Ten Rose Bowl, and the Fiesta Bowl from the Big 12. So that is Will Still's preseason rankings here on Southern Utah Thunderbirds Dynasty. Year number 4 is about to get started here on Mama's Basement.